Anything else in the world doesn't matter. But these 5 things you have to fix right away.
So I only have one microphone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we are speaking with Dr Roshan, who is an Ayurvedic doctor in Nepal. Today we're going to be talking about concepts within Ayurveda, how we can help bring our body back to balance, know when we're out of balance. If you want to also first introduce yourself, that sort of vibe.
Thank you so much. I'm Dr. Roshan. So basically, Ayurveda, I spent 5.5 years in Nepal in university to learn more about its theory, philosophy, and scientific aspect of it. Today, we'll focus on Ayurveda. So I would like to talk about how to understand Ayurveda for someone who doesn't know, or maybe someone knows just Ayurveda as massage or some herbs or something. So we want to go in detail. The first thing, let's go with the word itself, Ayurveda. That's in a Sanskrit language. Ayu means life and the Veda means knowledge. So it's knowledge of life. Why do we need knowledge of life? Because any experience that we experience, whether it is healthy, unhealthy, pleasant, unpleasant, these experiences we are experiencing in our life. So if we know about life, a normal life, we know everything about what cause pleasurable, what cause healthy, what cause unhealthy, what cause unhappy. So we need to get rid out of all those things that cause unhappy, unpleasurable, or trouble. And we want to get all those things that basically makes us happy, content, and amazing. So this is knowledge of life.
Could you explain the concept of doshas and what they are and how do people identify what they are?
Basically, someone comes with a problem. Like in Ayurveda, even before the problem, the first thing we need to know is normal. Who is normal someone? Because most of the time, in fact, when I was also in a clinical practice, most of the time when patient comes with certain problem, that is not even their problem. Like what I mean to say is, for example, I speak very quickly. So to someone who doesn't speak quickly, it sounds like maybe I have a trouble, maybe I'm nervous. But that's me, my nature. But for me, it's my gift. So yes, so first thing before we even think about what is the problem, we need to know what is normal first. Who is that particular person? That's someone who is very different than anyone else in the world. So what is that person? And this is called nature in Ayurveda. Or in Sanskrit, it is called prakriti. Pra is like pre, kriti is creation. So before any human body or mind or this thing is created, it is already pre-decided how would the energy be, how would be the nature be. This is already decided at the mother's womb, when it is like little cell, it is already decided. And this nature that is there, that is decided before the birth or at the time of conception, let's say, is called the prakriti. So every time if someone has a problem, we want to see what was the nature and now what energy got out of balance so that they are experiencing these imbalances. So this is what we really think in Ayurvedic perspective.
How does someone know what their nature is?
Okay, so now comes the question, then how do they know someone's nature? Truly, everyone knows who they are, they know deep inside. But how do we define that thing? So before even we go to Ayurveda, we have to go, what is the root of Ayurveda? The root of Ayurveda is Veda. What is Veda again? This is oldest scripture, the knowledges they confine in Southeast Asia. So if you talk about yoga, it also has the reference to the Veda. If you talk about astrology, this also has a reference to the Veda. Ayurveda also reference to the Veda. So the main book is Veda. The Vedic way of understanding what everything is made up of is 5 elements: earth, water, fire, wind, and sky. So these are the different spectrum. Earth means something that we can touch, feel. There's a shape, there's a smell. All the senses can go with the earth. But on the other hand, when you say space, you cannot touch, you can feel. It feels like nothing, like everything to nothing. So this is the spectrum that everything is made up of. This is Ayurvedic concept. But in our human body, we are not just the non-living body. We are a living body with a consciousness and many things. So now when it comes to human body, Ayurveda express these 5 elements as 3 dosha. Where earth and the water, the heavier or more gross one, makes kapha. The fire and the water, this combination makes pitta. And the wind and the space makes vata. So these 5 elements of earth, water, fire, wind, and sky now becomes kapha, pitta, and vata. What does it mean now? Now in a human, any behavior, any physical or emotional or disease or anything that they experience is because when these out of 3, some gets out of balance. And everyone at the time of birth, they already have this vata, pitta, and kapha. Now again asking like how does it sound. Let's give an example. There's Mr. A who has lots of vata at the time of birth. Let's say somehow Mr.
I'll
A.
be the illustrator.
Yes, okay.
Some air. Vata.
Okay, vata. Or let me do
Okay,
a graph. There's like Mr. A, Mr. B, and Mr. C. You can always illustrate here.
Okay.
Mr. A somehow happened to have lots of vata. See, lots of vata. And Mr. B happened to have lots of pitta, let's say. And Mr. C happened to have lots of kapha. Okay.
Fire. Yeah, and then
And this links with the space plus wind. And this links with fire and water. And this links with earth and the water. So, now let's say someone has lots of vata energy. Someone is like very much vata. What does it mean? It means this person who has lots of vata has lots of space and wind element. So this means like wind and space. Like you can imagine all those qualities. Who is quick mind, because quick is the quality of wind. So quick mind, quick memory, quick physically, passionate about different things, active, creative, this is vata. And their body structure, if you see, is very thin because it's light. The joints are pointed, the hair is dry and frizzy, maybe pointed chin, teeth random, they always move, they cannot stay calm. So this is vata. And if you think about pitta, pitta is someone with fire and the water. So if Mr. B would be more like steam, hot sharp steam, like fire and the water, which means sharp mind, logical, critical, good sense of judgment, organized, perfectionist. This is pitta. And if you see kapha, which is earth and the water, it's more like calm and grounded and loyal, forgiving, skin is thick and moist, hair is thick and moist, large frame. So this type of personality, physical or emotional, is kapha. This is by birth. Now when we talk about the problem because of our wrong food and lifestyle, this one or the other dosa gets too high or too low. When it gets high, for example, vata gets too much, then instead of that quick mind, it turns into stress. Quick memory, now forget easily. Quick physically, now getting tired easily. Who is passionate about different things, now gets bored easily. So all these qualities now turns into the problem. So this is called vata imbalances. Same with the pitta, that sharp mind now turns into the sharp tongue, like they are literally saying everything, very critical. Before they were critical in a good way, they could find right thing, good decision maker. Now there's too much of critical thinking, too much of judgmental thinking, and over perfectionist. And there is lots of fire popping out from emotion in skin, which means acne, blisters, pimples, allergies, eczema. These are red spots. These are fire popping out. And fire from emotion is like getting angry and irritated for simple things. These are fire popping out from emotion. Now in the kapha, if you see, the person when he was balanced or Mr. C was calm and grounded, but now when this gets out of balance, so calm, now feel lazy, procrastinating. They are not excited in anything. They are not doing anything. They have immense amount of energy. They are the most strongest one, but they don't use their energy. On the other hand, vata, they get out of energy, still they can keep on talking. So this is the overview of vata, pitta and kapha. And every person, unlike this one type, every person has a combination of all three energies. But again, we can categorize as single dominant, like only one dosha or two dosha, or all three are there quite near to each other. So this is how we decide prakriti and vikriti.
So would you say most people are a combination of two put together?
Most probably it's distributed equally, but usually what happens whenever you meet someone, because meeting someone means they are traveling, they are just going away from their comfort zone. So usually that you see people around, like me, you, there is always some amount of vata. But only the vata, usually they just stay back home, maybe easy, relax, maybe they are watching your video, just easy and relax. But usually you don't meet those person because they like more luxury or they don't like to move a lot. So most of the time when we see the people who are dual somewhere around A and B. That's what we experience. And travelers are mostly A because they like excitement.
Okay. Well, maybe, so overview, maybe we could go through vata and like what foods and stuff like are triggering, or like exercise kind of what's good, what puts them out of balance.
Yes.
So I guess, we'll start with vata. What symbols would you draw to represent vata?
Just vata.
So I'll do like a...
Yes.
And then,
Very thin, yes.
like very excited.
Yeah, you can do that.
And like lots of thoughts.
Yes. Yeah, you nailed it, yes. Vata is something like that, like a wind, like lots of thought, lots of ideas, and nothing is fixed all over the place. It looks like random, but in fact, they are enjoying that chaos. For someone, it looks like chaotic, but chaos, but for they are enjoying that. So this is Vata. Now, for this Vata type of personality, they always like changes. They always like different things, excitement. Someone says, let's go to party, yay, let's go to party. They are excited quickly, and this is their life. But somehow, if this Vata got too low or too high, there's an issue. What caused Vata high? Yes, they like activities, but the randomness increase the Vata. Now, when it gets too random, nothing is organized, and they wake up too early, or they did not sleep like in the right time. So usually Ayurveda says sleep when you add 4 hours to sunsets. For example, sunset here around at the moment is 6 or 7 and 9, 10. By 10 you have to sleep. But let's say someone who goes overnight, or they do not sleep on time, and the duration of sleep is very short. This type of personality, this type of person increases the Vata. So again, when we talk about imbalance, it's not only the Vata gets the Vata imbalance. Anyone can get Vata imbalance doing the wrong food and lifestyle. So for example, if there's a Pitta person who skips some sleep or who has a little bit of randomness, they quickly get the Vata imbalances. But for Vata who are used to with that, it takes a lot of effort for them to get out of balance. But when other dosa get these things like dryness, taking dry fruits, or waking up very early, or unscheduled or unplanned events, so these things can cause Vata high. Okay. Now talking about the solution, like how to solve that. The first thing is, of course, regularity is the key. For someone who believes like they have a Vata high, and what are the symptoms, again before that, if some of the viewers might be feeling like maybe I have a insomnia, maybe there's a joint pain, and there are issues like they feel palpitation, like anytime someone says something, it's like heart pounding, or they feel like some tigers are there always like surprises or something, and they feel like they are flying all over the place and they don't like about themselves. These situations, and the skins are very dry, the hair is dry and frizzy, so if these situations are there, this is called Vata high. So a person like this should be very mindful about regularity, or regularity is the key here. So make sure you do everything planned. You maybe write journal, you spill your Vata in writing, or just walking into barefoot outside the garden or something. So this is the first thing that should be done. Second is rehydrate, because water is opposite of dryness. So we just take more like soup or more the food in terms of water, but not the dry like crunchy food, just bread or something. We need to get some good oils and waters like avocados, or in Ayurveda we always say ghee, like good ghee, but only if you get organic. We don't want the hurt animal to get the product. So
sorry, can I just clarify, when you said hydration, you mean like mostly through foods and soups?
Yes,
and like
yes.
That sort of, yeah.
Yes. Also externally, like you can also do a self massage with warm sesame oil. This is the best way to oilate yourself, because your skin also gets dry, and with doing that there are two advantages. See, one, you are self caring, you are loving yourself, like just putting the oil to your body, right? It's like self love. And second, the oil is oil, I mean it's opposite of Vata, so this will definitely help you with your body. And the third, as you do the oil massage, definitely there is no tiger. If tiger was there, who would put the oil into the body? So it's like reverse psychology that basically says there is no tiger.
Like nervous system regulation.
It actually activates our parasympathetic nervous system. That's what many people need. Like these days, lots of sympathetic activation, lots of fight or flight, lots of tiger. So in multiple ways, self massage works. Like if one magic pill, if you say, it's a self massage for a Vata. And beside that, there's grounding. Like maybe the best time, because with time also Vata Pitta Kapha changes, because Ayurveda believes we are one big universe, and this is myself is another universe inside the universe. So it's like universe, there are different layers of universe, and all these are guided by the same energy. The cause material is same. Whatever this universe is created out of the material, like this is plastic, so although they are different objects, but both are plasticky. So similarly, you, me, this nature, everything is made up of one material. That's the concept here. Since it's one material, so everything has to follow this rule. Even the day has to go with Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Even the night has to go, season has to go. That's how Ayurvedic doctors, they always think. So by this, what I mean is, this evening time when there is a sunset, this is a transition between a Vata, like active time, to grounding time where people sleep. So this is like before sunset, it is a Vata time. After sunset, it is a Kapha time. So this transition time for Vata who is high, they cannot transform or they cannot transit like the nature. So as a result, their night gets like difficulty in sleep. So in this sunset time, they need to always ground themselves. Just walk barefoot or just hold or just do a silent walking meditation, like just inhale, exhale, walk. Somehow ground. Earth can receive any amount of charges or electrons or anything. You can put the electricity into the earth. They call it earthing. It soaks everything. Earth can soak everything, literally. Electricity or your emotional energy or any energy that is like chaotic. So it drains everything, and then you have a beautiful kapha evening and then kapha night, so that you have a better sleep. So this is another magic pill for Vata.
Okay, yeah. And like with Vata, like if someone was coming to you and they like really stressed, really anxious, they're having insomnia, maybe like also issues with like regular meal times, maybe like skipping meals. How does skipping meals affect like a Pitta?
Vata.
A Vata, yeah.
Very nice. Vata, the rule says do a little bit, rest a little bit, eat a little bit. Vata needs food like little child. Like for example, let's see this graph. See, this is the time and this is the, let's say, calories or energies. Now, as you go into, let's say you take one big breakfast and then go up some and lunch and then dinner. The tendency of changing that blood sugar level in Vata is very quick. Like moment you take food, it's like high sugar, and then after that low, because their activity is also very quick. So there's a lot of random, and sometimes this exceeds our threshold. Like for sugar, it's like 127 gram per deciliter. If it exceeds that, then we call it diabetic. They are not necessarily diabetic, but they feel this like over sugary thing. So instead of this peak, and if you only take 2 meals, it's even crazy. So it's better to like little. So for Vata, it is always recommended to take little in like less interval, but not one big break. Yeah, this is very interesting. There are some people who are like crazily following intermittent fasting, and many also comes as my client or my patient. And when I see a Vata person doing intermittent fasting, it doesn't last long. Like they feel like super tired. In fact, for many people, they say intermittent fasting is amazing. For Vata, they feel like crashed and they feel bloated and lots of health issues. Digestion as well as emotion.
Yeah.
So need to take regular meals, but not a gap. Is not good for Vata person.
And so like in terms of like foods they should sort of avoid, or like foods you should eat more of, so you said like the soups and stuff, are there any sort of foods that are like triggering for a Vata in excess?
Yes, there are a whole list of food, but again, the most important that Ayurveda says in Sanskrit, it is called sanskar, like processing. How you make the food matters a lot. See, same, let's say, and potato is there. Same potato you can make French fries. Same potato you can mash it. Same potato you can boil it. Same potato you can do a whole lot of things, right? So with this, like when you boil, what happens? When you fry, what happens? When you make it dry and make it chips, what happens? So the process is more important than the food itself. So yes, there are lists like, regardless of that, potato is potato. It has lots of carbohydrate. Something like that in Ayurveda, potato is sweet in taste. So anyways, you take potato, it increases the kapha. That by decreasing the vata, that's like potato grounds you. But have been said that, like something like that, for vata, there are some specific food. Most of the time, it is found, it increases vata a lot. Number one is tomato. Tomato or any Solanaceae family, or something that has the little seed inside, like capsicum, tomato, this increases the vata. The other is the cruciferous, like cabbages, broccoli, cauliflower, so this increases the vata. And anything that is raw, like green leafy vegetable salads, this raw, if you take, it increases the vata. And something that calms is again something that is oily, well cooked with the soup and all. And spices are really, really good for vata. Spice calms the vata. Ginger, black pepper, cinnamon, cardamom, all these are the good spices. Star anise, these are good spices for vata.
Okay, cool. That's beautiful, very comprehensive. Well, let's move on to pitta.
Yes, that's
Fire.
usually...
We do them. We'll do them in a squat because they're like strong.
Okay.
and like a bit angry sometimes.
So when it is out of balance. Okay, Pitta. Pitta means like perfectionist, logical, critical. Even for the food. Now, something that is very important. For Vata, everything need to be organized. But for Pitta, 5 things should be organized.
Okay.
Wake up, time. Like Pitta, if you are Pitta person, you have to already make this column. Wake up time, when are you planning to wake up? Your breakfast, when are you going to have? Lunch, when are you going to have? Dinner, when are you going to have? And sleep, when are you going to have? Anything else in the world doesn't matter. But these 5 things you have to fix right away. When these things gets messed up, Pitta gets worst. Because Pitta is fire, but to burn fire we need air. So when this is disorganized, it's like putting more air into that. And then the fire explodes so much, it's like crazy. So, and inflammations, irritations, autoimmunes can be linked to the fire. When fire gets out of balance, it fights our own cell, or it burns ourselves, or it's like your skin is getting inflamed by just like that. There's no irritation, but your body says like, oh, someone touched here, but body says like, oh, someone is scratching. So it is start to get lots of inflammatory reaction, allergies, histamines. So all these are Pitta problem.
And so they should organize this time. And so like what things help bring, if a Pitta person is too fiery, too angry, like arrogance, we're talking about today, and like skin issues, histamine, eczema, like what can they do to like bring that fire down a little bit?
Like a mantra, I would always say avoid hurry, worry, and spicy curry. Hurry, like eating very quickly, like they're rushing over something. This makes it worse. Worry, now, there's no way not to worry, but at least when we eat, we should not multitask. Like we should not talk about the work or politics or maybe even, I know it's very social to talk, but there should be some time, at least maybe for the first 10 seconds or maybe 1 minute. Just eat whenever you are eating. Try to see the food, smell the food, touch the food, taste the food, as you listen to the sound. This is mindful eating and everyone can do actually. But for Pitta, it gives lots of advantage. Like their body is well prepared and their body also, like we and our body, there are 2 things, let's say. My body says, wow, this guy today actually gave me a food. It thanks you. Yeah. And that's what Pitta needs. Yeah. Like your Pitta. Your Pitta needs a lot of love. And yeah, something like that helps. And spices are worse. Spicy curry. Curry is not a problem, but spices is a problem. All those spices that I said earlier, and especially chilies are worse. Chili. Now all those chili, cinnamon, cardamom, black pepper, long pepper, all the peppers, these makes Pitta very, very high. Okay. So then what to do? Should I not take spices? Well, there are some spices that gives cooling effect, like CCF. Coriander, cumin, fennel. They can always go with that. For Pitta, now taking lots of green vegetables, salads are really, really good. And about the food, they need to see 3-1. So for Vata, there are like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is Vata. But now for Pitta, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Why I said lunch? Because lunch is the most important meal for the Pitta. And if they have to take some decision, they are great at doing the decision and logical thinking and critical thinking and planning. But when they do that thing, they need to make sure they are not hungry. Because the word hangry, more hungry, more angry. Welcome to the Pitta person.
Okay, yeah. And also with like lunch being the biggest meal of the day, is that also something to do with like our digestive system being the strongest?
Yes, again, we are the part of the nature. In nature also there's a sunrise and the sunset. In our body also there's like digestive fire rise and digestive fire set. So from Ayurvedic perspective, when sun is strongest outside, our sun, or that it's called Agni. Agni means like ignis or like Agni, fire. The fire inside the body or the stomach, which is called digestive fire, or those acids and enzymes, this gets into the highest, strongest, is that is strong in the lunch time around 12:01. So here also lunch 1. So by saying that, Ayurveda also in fact says you cannot have dinner after sunset because there is no sun. Basically your digestion is very weak. So, but practically, like it's very difficult because we do job until it's sunset. Then what to do? Later you take, lesser you take. That's like plan B, but plan A is take when there is still sun.
Yeah, I like that, like, because you're reiterating that it's important to have like regular meals, because I think like sometimes a lot of times people think, oh, I'm just going to like skip a meal and that's going to be better, but that actually can like throw you off.
Yes.
How does like skipping meals and this preventing from like overeating or binge eating? Like,
the most important fire manifestation in our body is the digestion itself, because digestion is the biggest fire. It's like we transform all those macromolecule, big food like carbohydrate, proteins and fat into micronutrients. Like there's a bigger process for that. I mean, it's not easy. If it was easy, we would all get these micronutrients in the ready to eat meal. It's difficult. Our body has to do a lot of things, right from ptyalin, saliva to amylase, lipase, acids, so many stuff it has to do, bile and so on and so forth. Part of the pitta is there for the digestive fire, and it always prepares itself. It expects a person to take meal so that I can digest. And if somehow person did not give a meal, the fire is there already ready to receive and process, but there's no food. Now what to do? Oh, there's a fire, what to do? Should I just come down? But there's a long coil of intestine, so let's not do that. Let me come in the shortest path, although it hurts. So therefore there comes this reflux and all this, and sometimes this fire also comes as an emotion. This happens when there is like too much of randomness into the food. The body doesn't know when you are eating, when you are not. But fire has to be prepared. I mean, if I have a hotel here, I need to be expecting the guest. But sometimes comes, sometimes doesn't come, then there's a chaos. Similarly, body gets issue for the pitta person, especially when they do the random eating. So it's very important they fix.
what happens if a pitta person's like doing excessive exercise, like, and doing too much?
Yes, their competitive nature makes it worse. So pitta person should always limit their competitive nature to self-competitive. They should not compete with others. And when they compete, it's worse because there's so much of pitta, now they cannot handle that fire. The fire that is created by you burns yourself. So this is like really, really bad. The other thing is they can always escape, like let it go the things that they are doing. Like you can make someday a let it go day, or you can have like surprises, like you can surprise yourself, like maybe every day I brush with right hand, someday try with left hand. So do the things in a different way. Call someone that you have never thought of, go to somewhere that you have never planned, or something like that. Even changing your seating arrangement can also make a lot of calmness to the pitta. But this doesn't mean always change. Always change, then you are no more pitta. Then there is again a trouble, your vata gets high. But once a week you need some changes. Once a week you need some let it go. And once a week you need some surprises for yourself. So these things can settle the pitta. About that, spices make it worse.
CCF, coriander, cumin. I've been having a lot of cinnamon at breakfast, so I feel like I should probably tone that down.
Maybe that will increase your, that balance your vata, but that will increase your pitta.
Yeah. And then we'll go to kapha, which I'll do like grounded meditation, kind of like really zen and just like...
Yes, and I would also like to add here, like large frame.
Okay.
Kapha now. Kapha is very much calm, grounded, so that's their nature. But the problem today is many people, they feel the obesity, hypothyroid, all these diseases where they really gain too much. Kapha is actually storage. Kapha we can link with the storage. Vata we can link with the movement. Pitta we can link with the transformation. Now kapha is the storage. So when it is storage too much, that is kapha too high. So what do you experience when storage is too much? You feel heaviness, you feel sluggishness, you don't feel energy, you don't feel like doing something new. There's no excitement for anything. These are the symptoms that you experience when kapha is too high. Or in modern days, we can always correlate with problems like cholesterol getting high, or triglyceride getting high, or diabetes like blood sugar getting high, or thyroid getting this, especially hypothyroidism, not hyper. Hyper is something else. Hypo, where you gather everything, you gain weight, like. So these are the kapha problem. How to solve it? Kapha person first, they need to start their routine, like every day after they wake up, just make your bed. So it starts from there. Like everything, try to be self-sufficient. Like do not seek help from anyone. Like anything that you want to do, just do by yourself. Try to do that. At least from home, start doing that. This is like first way. And engage yourself more in activities. Or try to spend more time outside the nature. When they are confined into the four walls, even we sit here like maybe for 3 months, both of us will be kapha. So more we go out, more we reduce the kapha. So you have to make new friends, you have to try to find someone to talk with, you have to go somewhere, you need to have pet or something, you need to have hobbies, you need to do gardening, dancing, singing, art, music, paint, anything. You have to find something that you do, like dynamically do. The next is waking up time. Kapha person waking up after sunrise is terrible. So if you believe you are a kapha, if you believe you are having tiredness, or you believe you are slow, you can do much thing, you believe you are procrastinating, then you definitely need to wake up in the Vata time, which is before the sunrise. Okay, and it is recommended you wake up even 2 hours before the sunrise, and then start doing walking, jogging, running, whatever. But if Vata person does that, they feel like crazy tired. They cannot do that. Only Kapha person start the day dynamic. For Vata and Pitta, start the day slow, end it quick. For Kapha, start the day quick, and it's always quick.
Okay, so yeah, so Kapha, wake up earlier, start dynamically, and then the other two have a slower morning.
Slow start and quick end.
So when's like hypothetically for, this is on Vata and Pitta, like the best time for like physical activity? Like is it, I think,
let's make this circle here.
Yeah.
Let's divide. Like today we have a clock, but at that time the sunrise and the sunset was the clock. But for our ease, let's say 6 a.m. for sunrise and 6 p.m. for sunset. And then now I want to divide it every 4 hours. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 p.m., 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, midnight, 12, 1, 2 a.m. in the morning, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's understood. Now this time is Kapha in the morning. See, everything is calm and grounded. Even the birds are like, it's just starting the day. Outside, if you see the traffic, it's like minimum. This is Kapha. And then the sun becomes strong. It steams all those water like dew drops, which was earth and the water into the earth. Now the sun dries it up. It's like steam. So this is the Pitta. The sun is the strongest here.
and this is the best time for lunch, like digestion?
Yes,
stuff?
yes, because the fire is very strong. So it's 10, 11, 12, somewhere between 12 and 1, somewhere here. And then in the evening, there's a wind. Now everyone is start to come back home, even the birds, animals, human. And then finally, they have to ground it again, the Kapha. And in the middle of the night, this is time to heal. So Pitta, it transforms. Like this day, I've been talking on and on. My neck has to be again fresh neck next day. Or my throat basically has to be better. So this happens in the night. But let's say tonight, if I did not sleep, the next time I'll definitely have my sore throat. Okay. And then, okay, whole the night, if we sleep, then we cannot wake up. So we need a wake up call. So Vata now triggers us like, hello, wake up. And somehow we receive that call just before the sunrise. But if you are Kapha, you have to wake up in the mid Vata time so that you get the energy of Vata to, just change that calmness and letharginess. But if you are already Vata, you have to go little late. So the waking up time start first for the Kapha person, then for the Pitta person, and then for the Vata, or imbalance with the Kapha, Pitta and Vata.
Yeah. One question was, so I think it's interesting because like most people would think, oh, if I sleep in longer, I'll have more energy, when really you're saying
it gets worse.
Waking up earlier, you get more
energy. If you sleep longer, let's say if you end up waking up at Kapha time, 2 problems. One problem, you are more Kapha now. There's less energy. You feel always heavy and lethargic. This is the Kapha imbalances. Second problem is this Vata is not just Vata to make you wake up. This Vata is there to remove all the toxin from your body. So every morning when you wake up in Vata time, like people, they complain about constipation. Like they take lots of lactulose and lots of herbal supplement, and they come to Ayurveda saying like, oh, there's no side effect. Can I take some supplement for my constipation? And they believe like just taking supplements helps everything. Yeah, there are some very potent herbs, but they also cause habit forming. So what we do is like, when do you wake up? I always ask, and they say like, I wake up around like 8 or 9. Oh, then I cannot help you. So if we wake up in Vata time, Vata is the movement. There's something called apana vayu, the movement of the waste from inside the body to outside, like urine, stool, sweating. So all this detox will be there if we wake up here. People who always wake up after sunrise, they have full of toxin.
Okay.
Okay. Detox is only possible if you wake up here.
And what's the importance of like going to bed? Because I mean, we won't go too far into traditional Chinese medicine, but I know like the meridian, like the organs have a different time clock.
Yeah.
And like if we start going to bed too late, that we don't get as much of that healing time. Is that
yes,
right?
from meridian perspective, there's a different way. But from Ayurvedic perspective, if we sleep at the Kapha means love. Kapha means storage, calmness. Like we store ourselves in love. So Kapha, see, one more interesting thing here. I'll answer that question, but before that, there's a Kapha and Kapha. Like we can use 100% of the Kapha time and another 100% of the Kapha time. But this Pitta, we are sleeping. This Vata, 50% we are sleeping. So we have liberty of 1 Pitta and 1 Vata, but there are 2 Kapha that we can fully utilize. Why is that? Then they say this is like self-love And this is love to your near and dear one, to your family. So we need two type of love. One is self-love. You spend this morning of a time loving yourself. That means doing something. Even if you want to be dynamic, meditation, yoga, whatever you do, it's best to be done. Like self-study, self-reflection, best time here. So this is not the time to talk with your partner or something. Usually that is not good. The best time to do it in the evening when you come home together with your work and everything. So this is a kapha time. Now, as this is a love time, as this is a kapha time, as this is a calm time, if you go to bed within the kapha time, you have a beautiful sleep. But the moment you miss that, there's like critical, too much argument. Now you cannot sleep because there's a wind, like lots of thought. And then you end up sleeping in this kapha time. But see, now you just ended up sleeping in the kapha time, so maybe you will say, oh, then it's the same thing, but there's a bright sun here. So when there is a bright sun, it will not produce all those hormones that would produce in the night in the absence of like melatonin, so that you have a proper healing. Yes, your body gets the rest, but in the day if you sleep, it is not as same as the night sleep.
That's really interesting. That's cool. Yeah, I like that. Was there anything else you think wanted to mention on kapha, like body type, or like bringing them back to balance? You said like sleeping properly.
And about the food, if they take lots of sweet tasting food, that increase the kapha. So they need to basically, and in Ayurveda there are 3 tastes that increase the kapha: sweet, sour, and salty. So sweet and salty, they are both regarded, like usually in Western medicine we say if you take lots of sweet, there's like that increase the blood sugar or diabetes. But in Ayurveda, diabetes is the condition where you gain weight and you store. So it's not just the sweet. Like in other words, diabetes will be there. Again, I cannot say diabetes will be there, but something like diabetes will be there. The kapha problem when you take too much of both sweet and salty and even the sour. So there's this trend where people start taking lots of apple cider vinegar early morning. It doesn't do good for everyone. Or from Ayurvedic perspective, they describe the food in terms of taste, not in terms of calories or carbohydrate, protein or vitamins. They describe in terms of whether it is easily digestible or not and what is the taste. So these 2 criteria will give the idea to plan any food.
I feel like I think like health, and especially on social media as well, it's so focused on like you're healthy if you're a certain weight, but like how would you recommend people see health as something that's more than just your weight or what your body looks like, you know?
Yeah, this is like the problem with or the gap or the issue that we see in this aspect is like okay, most of the people, they might feel good with certain height, with certain age, certain height and certain weight, but Ayurveda says it depends upon how we are made. How is our frame? Frame and weight are 2 different things. Frame, like my frame, how my bone structure is, and what is my weight. And from Vata perspective, if someone is Vata, they have thin frame. Pitta has medium frame. Kapha has large frame. So having a little bit more weight in the kapha is actually good, and less weight in the vata is actually good. So there's nothing called normal with all the age and the maybe age and the gender. It's not that. It's vata and pitta also added in Ayurveda.
Yeah, and like so, and you said before about how like a kapha can have a pitta imbalance and all that. So it's not just like you're just one and you're kind of mixed. It's all mixed.
We are one, but we can have any imbalances.
Yeah. Things like gluten and dairy. You told me that story the other day about that lady who thought she was dairy intolerant for forever, and then she found out she just had really weak digestion. Could you talk about how maybe like food intolerances can be related to just like weak and poor digestion?
We put everything in one basket, like intolerant. But from Ayurvedic perspective, whenever we cannot process certain food, or whenever we put it through the oral means, like through the digestive fire, and we cannot process, then we understand this as fire or Agni problem, fire or digestive fire problem. So this case that I said was one lady who believes she has gluten intolerant, but when I actually made her digestive fire better with certain herbs and spices, she actually digested milk, and not just she really enjoyed the milk. So that means most of us, first we need to make sure our digestion is good or bad. Now again comes the question, then how do you know where digestion is good or bad? Of course, with the symptom, like we need to think like, do I get bloated? Do I get how is my bowel habit? How is my appetite? Do I have pain or blah, blah, blah? But one very nice way that Ayurveda interprets is your tongue. Tongue is the mirror of stomach or the digestive tract. So whenever you see your tongue in front of the mirror, like relaxed and open your tongue, and if you see there is a layer like whitish, yellowish, this always means there's a digestive issues. Your tongue must be pink, it should not shake, and it should not have any patches or something, so it should be clear and pink. If these signs are there, there's a good fire, digestive fire. But if these signs are not there, then you need to take fasting, or you need to take some spices, or take help from some Ayurveda expert to rekindle your digestive fire. This is very, very important.
Can we clarify on fasting? Like, because if there's like younger girls listening, like, you don't mean like fasting, like don't eat at all, just like...
Not eating at all is punishment to your body.
Yeah.
So Ayurveda never says that don't eat. Fasting in Ayurveda is taking something very, very easily digestible food. What is the most easily digestible food? Of course, when we boil it with the water. So what do they do with the rice? Like, they boil it with water, adding, because rice is only the carbohydrate, we don't want that, we also want protein. But at that time, they didn't think in that perspective. At that time, they thought, okay, this is like sweet taste, so let me add some astringent and other taste. So they added mung bean to that. So this rice and mung bean, when we boil with the water, and only the allowed spices are turmeric, little bit, and salt, that's all. Nothing fancy, nothing. It's like a soup made out of the mung bean and the rice. And this actually is called khichdi. This is like best Ayurveda food. We can do that. Just take a little bit of khichdi, like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whenever we feel hungry, but very minimum. We should not feel any pressure into our belly. So if we do that, this is a best way to fast.
Oh, I know. I said one more question, but maybe just like on the seasons. Like, so, I mean, right now in Nepal, it's summer. So,
Yes.
like, how does eating or sleeping, first of all, should they change, and why should they change?
It's like when it begins with, let's say, January. Let's just for our age, January, February, March 1st, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. What shall I do? Shall I talk in Australia, or shall I talk in terms of Nepal?
You can talk about time in Nepal.
Okay,
Yeah.
in terms of Nepal now. But again, for people who are
Apply to
living
your own
below, when it is very cold, the kapha start to accumulate. Then when it gets accumulated, the next season, like kapha gets accumulated whole the winter. And the next season, when it comes to the spring, kapha is max and it express. Then in the next season, now there is a sun, it's the heat that will just melt the kapha. Even if you don't do anything, your kapha gets low. So in this way, in season, if you think, now many people say, okay, maybe today I feel something bad. Let's say this is the mid of the April and I'm feeling like heavy. This is not because today I ate some sugar or I did not work out. The problem in the April may come from the February, because in February, if I accumulate too much of kapha, let's say I had a day sleep in February, like for many days I did not do workout and just slept. Then at that time, I might not feel anything. But in April, I might get all the symptoms of kapha getting high later. So it's like one season you have to go behind.
Okay, so if we're feeling issues here, we should think, what was I doing a season back?
We also have to think also right now, like if I hit here, I get hurt right away. But if we think in broader perspective, like for health conditions, like holistic, we always think like one season back. Now, if we talk in terms of summer, what is max? Vata is max. That means most of us will experience Vata high in summer. Most of us will experience like Vata high means lots of randomness going here and there. Our appetite goes down actually because there's no fire inside. Outside sun is so much that our internal fire is like exhausted. So this is the time when we have to think like a Vata. So the advices given is like take some cooling like coconut water or something. Try to be inside the room which doesn't have lots of wind exposure.
Okay. Do you think right now, do you feel like you did well last season? Like, do you feel like you're having any?
Maybe not last time. I was running here and there, so I definitely activated Vata, and now it's hard to sleep because the last season it's too much of Vata. Now even like everything is cool, but it still feels like something I'm missing. So this happens from
What
one month.
dosha are you? What's your
My
constitution?
vata and pitta.
Vata.
I'm dominant with pitta and vata. Like pitta is slightly more than the vata,
Yeah.
but kapha is low. Like grounding, there's nothing.
No grounding. Need a walk
Very
outside.
minimum. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Roshan.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope everyone's enjoying the episode. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's preparing for their next season. And yeah, see you in the next episode. Luckily, my camera's just about to die.